What's going on, guys? And this is how to swap an M50 into a 190e Mercedes. I don't know what compelled me to do this project, but at the end of the day, I feel like it's pretty original and it's pretty cool. So check it out. The moment has finally come when it's time to finalize the M50 swap into the 190e. There have been lots of segments, but this is the ones that are going to be concentrated more on actually swapping the engine into the car. Let me update you guys on what I've done and what I'm about to do, and we'll take this step by step so that we know how to put this engine into this chassis. First and foremost, I have placed the engine inside just to mock it up. This is not on any motor mounts or anything. The engine is sitting on pieces of wood. This is just to get a mock-up of how it's gonna sit. This engine is gonna come out in about 2 minutes, but it will give you an idea of what's about to. We have to make sure that we have to swap the M50 oil pan from the E36 oil pan to the E34 oil pan. This is the E36 oil pan. The sump's in the rear. This section right here would fall under right over here, and it would be hitting the steering box. And if you want to use the steering box, you're gonna have to relocate your oil pan sump as well as the motor mount. I am planning on using the original motor mounts and fabricating custom motor mount brackets in order to mount this engine to the original 190e motor mounts. So here's where we're at with that swap. Engine's in, now it's gonna come out. After it comes out, we're just gonna have to massage the back end of the firewall a little bit. It's hitting. After that, we're gonna put the engine back in, and we're gonna figure out our motor mounts, and we're gonna walk through step by step on how to make those. So stay tuned. I went ahead and took the engine out. I've noticed a couple of things, and mostly I'm really surprised because this chassis took this engine very, very well. It almost feels like it was meant to sit in this car. Minus the oil pan. If you get the oil pan swapped, then this thing is perfect. Let me show you what I'm talking about. The subframe, which is pretty much built into this car, it's welded in, and you have this sway bar right here. The sway bar is attached to the rails with 2 bolts right here. I had to take that off and kind of pivot it down in order to get the engine fitted right. But what I noticed is this engine, see this oil pan right here and this clearing, this fits perfectly right between these two. The reason why I had lowered this is because when I was putting it in, I was unsure if it was going to fit, but it actually, I'm 90% sure it's going to fit perfectly. And if it doesn't, all I have to do is put some spacers here and angle this down. Second, we have the clearance right over here with the steering arms and the subframe that fits perfectly right under this. So yeah, it fits amazing. The challenge is going to be creating the motor mounts that mount from here to here, because the motor mounts sit higher than the plates are going to be on the engine. So the engine plates are like, one is here and another one is here. So we're going to have to make some contraption. But yes. So the biggest issue that I see with this is going to be this shifter linkage right here. This is I believe it's a UUC short shifter. I just mocked it up. We have to make sure that this clears the drive shaft and the flex disc, so it has to sit a bit higher. Problem is the 190, here I'll show you. The trans tunnel, it's a pretty tight fit. So right over here, let me see, I've marked it up with some marker. Right here is where the shifter needs to go, right in between these 2 black lines, and that needs to come up significantly in order to fit that shifter. And that's where the original shifter is, right there. and it's much further back than it is with the get rag transmission from the BMW. Next, we had to massage this corner in, and I'm still gonna have to do some massaging with a hammer. I marked it out right there, and the main issue is right over here. This is what is stopping the engine from going all the way back in. The engine hits right there. Easy solution, all you have to do is just cut this plate out and the engine can go in there smoothly. And I'll show you what's hitting. It's just the valve cover bolt right here. This is what's hitting. So yeah, while I'm at it, I'm just gonna disassemble all the inside, you know, take out the seat if I need to, take out the dash and everything like that, and try to add everything at once so I don't have to keep going back in. So yeah, that's pretty much what it is right now, but we're getting closer and closer. The engine fits really good. Just gotta add the clutch pedal, the lines, and we have to add the shifter linkage. After that, we are golden, man. After that, it comes to motor mounts and wiring, and we'll be donezo. So here we go. I have done all my setting up and measuring, and I've come up with a couple of designs. I have made some plates and I have put them on the car. Now it's time to make the motor mounts. So let's get started. As you can see, the engine is inside the car, and this is the position which I want it to be before I weld in the motor mounts. What I've done is I had to cut a section out of here in order to get some clearance for the valve cover to pass through. Other than that, you don't have to do such drastic measures, but I have actually gone ahead and cut out the trans tunnel, and I'm going to make my own custom little shifter linkage, which I will show you how to make. So with that being said, this is the plan. These are little rods that I made, and these are the motor mounts. Over here, as you can see, we have those plates, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this rod and I'm gonna weld from one plate to the next in order to get a nice casting or what have you, and same on this side. So the idea is to take it like this, weld 2 or 3 on there, take it off the car, and make the plate after with some square tubing. So here we go. it.